Why was this movie even made? I saw The Nun recently and it was not good. So I like to go into movies kind of blind. I usually avoid trailers, so I didn't realize until I got to the theater and was actually sitting there watching the beginning of this movie that it's in the Conjuring universe, and I don't like The Conjuring. I just don't like it. I'm sorry. The original, like, Conjuring and Conjuring 2 movies were okay, I guess. Like, they weren't bad movies, they just weren't like these excellent films that for some reason people keep making them out to be. And at this point they're kind of following in the footsteps of like that Paranormal Activity or like The Purge, like let's make a new movie in this franchise once a year kind of bullshit, just like these money grabs that are so annoying and they're never good. Even if the first couple movies are good, then you get things like Annabelle and Annabelle Creation, which are just like The Nun, total turds. I feel like I should have prefaced this video by saying the obvious, which is that you're allowed to like these movies. Like, you don't have to have the same opinion as me. I don't think that they're good. I have a lot of reasons why I don't think that they're good. But if you like them, I'm sure you have plenty of valid reasons why you like them, and that's fine. You're allowed to have different opinions than me, but it's just not my jam. So to start off, like, I predicted the entire plot of this movie in the first 5 minutes, and I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing for a movie to be predictable. Like, you don't have to have some kind of crazy twist or super unpredictable storyline to make a movie that's entertaining. It's just that it has to have some kind of other inherent value to it. Like a movie that's like funny or visually stimulating or something, but The Nun failed to even be entertaining. It was just purposeless and uninspired, and honestly, I don't even know why this movie was made, except for like the obvious money grab. Like, these movies make so much money, and if you don't like these movies, don't be like me and don't go and spend your money at the theater, because then they're gonna keep making them and that's awful. We should give our money to people who do a good job. But even within the Conjuring universe, like, this movie doesn't serve any purpose. No one cared about the nun demon. No one needed an origin story. It's a demon that looks like a nun. And if you're going to make an origin story, like, make it something interesting. All that we learned was that it's a nun demon. Like, by the end of the movie, we didn't gain anything, it doesn't add anything to the universe, it doesn't make the Conjuring universe more immersive, it just didn't do the franchise any favors, and I feel like there was a really big missed opportunity here. Like, origin stories can be pretty cool, and it could have been used to revamp this series after a couple really shitty movies. Beyond that, the plot didn't even make any sense. I'm gonna keep this video spoiler free, so just to keep it high level, this priest is sent from the Vatican to this abbey to see if it's still holy. Like, what kind of plot device is that? It doesn't make any sense. Like, it just felt so unrealistic. Obviously, I don't know what the Catholic Church was like in the 50s, but it just felt like something that never would have happened. And then once they got there and saw that there was all this like spooky stuff happening, I think the answer to the question was pretty obvious. And even if that motivation did initially make sense, like, let's go and check it out and see if it's worthy in the eyes of the church, I think they could have answered that question within the first 10 minutes of arriving. Like, I really don't think that anything that happened in this movie was necessary at all if their true purpose to be there was to determine the holiness of the abbey. It just seemed really weird. It seemed like a dumb excuse to go on this purposeless adventure, if you even want to give it that much credit. So considering that that's the backstory of why all of this happened, every single scene from the beginning of the movie had me wondering, why is anyone doing any of this? There are so many points where we find characters wandering through the woods or through cemeteries alone at night for no reason. They're already aware that there's some kind of haunting or some kind of like demonic presence, so why would they be wandering around by themselves at night? There's also like a scene when they're staying overnight at the abbey and they have like this glorious feast between the two of them, the priest and the nun that he brought with him. Where'd they get that food? Nothing in this movie makes any sense at all. Not even like basic logic. But again, even an unnecessary origin story could have been an entertaining movie if this movie had anything going for it. But The Nun felt completely flat. There was nothing cool or entertaining or creative about it whatsoever, which is really disappointing because the one thing that I can at least give the two original Conjuring movies credit for is the fact that they're pretty creative and they're well thought through, and I guess that they're directed pretty well. But The Nun, on the other hand, felt like it came from a completely different director, and it didn't. Like, what happened? Trying to find something positive in this movie, there was one scene that I guess was kind of cool. So they had the totally unnecessary comedic relief character walking through, I think it was like the basement of the church, and there were all these nuns there with like bags over their heads, and he was looking for the nun that he had come to the abbey with originally, and it just had like this cool kind of like Silent Hill zombie nurse vibe to it. But the scene was cut a little bit too short with a lot of stupid sound effects, and also had a ridiculous ending with the stupidest line I've ever heard in any movie ever. I'm French Canadian. Besides that one kind of creative scene, the movie just totally relied on really cheap jump scares and those stupid camera pans behind characters where, like, obviously you already know that there's going to be like something scary over their shoulder, and by the end of the movie, even the jump scares weren't even getting to you because you were so used to it. I was literally like falling asleep in the middle of one of like the jumpiest, scariest parts of the movie. Everything just felt really sloppy, and the acting left a lot to be desired, and there's this one ridiculous scene that had me laughing out loud all day. So the priest looks outside his window and sees a little boy who, I won't go into details because again, if you care about the plot and you want to see the movie, I'll try to keep it spoiler free or whatever. So the priest looks out the window and sees this boy who's trying to lure him into the woods. Yes, that's right, the boy is trying to lure the priest into the woods. I'm hoping that I'm not the only one who noticed this detail because it was so hilarious to me. The boy's acting was so bad, and when he ran off into the woods, he had the most ridiculous run where his arms were kind of like out to the side a little bit, and he was like slapping his feet on the ground. Father? Absolute cinematic gold there. Besides the jump scares, this movie relied on some seriously boring and tired, stereotypical religious imagery that is used in every single shitty demonic possession movie, and I'm just so tired of seeing the same things over and over again. And I feel like when movies are made in this way, it's like the only people that they would even be scary to are like super devout Christians. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but clearly The Conjuring and the Conjuring universe is advertised to the general public, and I'm not sure how many of those people are really gonna be freaked out by upside down burning crosses. And you know what, can we talk about the upside down cross thing for a second? Because I am so tired of seeing that in like every single demonic possession movie or paranormal movie or anything like that. The upside down cross is not a satanic or demonic symbol at all, and it has only been interpreted as such in the last like 10 to 15 years, which makes it make even less sense when it's put in movies that are supposed to be taking place in the 70s or the 50s. I'm looking at you, the entire Conjuring series. It doesn't make any sense. An upside down cross is actually the cross of St. Peter, who was also crucified, but was crucified upside down as a sign of humility because he felt like he didn't deserve the exact same death as Jesus. And anyone who's a devout Christian, who it seems like this movie is supposed to be made for, would know that. So it's just really silly that that kept popping up over and over again throughout the movie, and was even used as a plot device at the very end of the movie. Not a spoiler, just a dumb detail. Overall, I just feel like The Nun didn't need to be made in the first place, and once they decided to make it, they could have done something really cool with it, and they just didn't. And that kind of sucks. I think that you can pretty easily figure out what you're gonna get out of this movie by watching the trailers, so if you watch the trailers and it still looks like something that you would enjoy, or if you're a super fan of the Conjuring movies, still go see it. Hopefully you enjoy it. I just really did not. It was not a good use of my time or money, although it was kind of an entertaining watch, but not entertaining enough that I would want to put it on during like a bad horror movie party with my friends or something. So, not really worth it in my book. Anyway, those are my thoughts on The Nun. I just saw it the other day and figured I should make a video about it because I just really hated it so much. But if you guys want to see more movie reviews from me, just let me know, because that's definitely something I could do. Kind of fun. I don't know. I like movies, I like watching them, I like talking about them, so win-win. If you're new here and you didn't hate me by the end of this video, hit the subscribe button for more horror-related content. I usually do narrations on here, but I'm trying to switch it up a little bit, do some more fun stuff. So subscribe for some more stuff from me. Hit the like button if you like this video, because that's what it's there for, and I will see you guys next time.